it's important that schools and they have people that have this understanding. And I believe that this is why such programs as I'm running is very important, because then you have kids grow up feeling so many career fields. And so be it a lawyer, be it a doctor, but having a foundation as being in such a curriculum or an after school program, when they get to these type of positions, they understand how it has to start from ground up.
1, 2, 3!
My name is Daniel Benneh, founder of Social Drive Foundation. Social Drive Foundation was founded in 2018, officially on paper according to the registration. But I've always had this dream about how things can become better. Given my background as an athlete in basketball, and I played handball as well. And so I identified problems in the education curriculum that related to sports and how sports was handled from the grassroots up. So my entire journey of how Social Drive Foundation was born was identifying that problem of how our sports is not treated so well in our education curriculum. In schools, the advantage I'll have is parents will bring their kids to school, and then the kids are going to be there for a very long period, and they would be confident that their kids is involved in an after-school program where they know that they're going to come and pick their kids after that, and it's safe, and they wouldn't have to worry about letting their kid loose on any other day aside school days to go and then not be able to track what's happening. And yeah, indeed, that's actually how it's supposed to be run in school. So, but except that it's not so much after school, it has to be in the curriculum. But given the state that we are in Ghana and how that this is a process, we have to start from being after school.
God placed it on my heart to be bigger than just a local organization. And I thank him every day for giving me this opportunity in order to share the information that he's given me. So I reached out to Danny after I had been watching him for years and seeing how he operates and seeing, the love that he has for his community here in Ghana. And I just thought that it would be a great partnership in order to be able to reach out to him and duplicate what we do in America here in Ghana.
So I had a few kids where would come up to me and say, can you train us? Can you train us? Or can you train me, And so when the numbers I was having so many of that request, what happened was I said, okay, let me start this. And so we were scheduled in the mornings. And you'd find on the Social Drive highlights, there's a highlight I've named 6 to 8 a.m. and you'd find some content there. And I was scheduling with these kids, and these were about high school kids. And so we used to train in the mornings between 6 to 8 a.m. And this was consistent, about 3 times in a week or so. And so I found that it was still challenging because these were high school kids and they had periods where they would go to school. And so then that would be like a dry season and there won't be, the consistency would break. And so it begged the question, how can this be more consistent? Secondly, there was a struggle with what I'd need to train these kids as well, because they would come and then they wouldn't have a ball. And there's one time I used to transport 2 balls, but the kids were like over 6.
Let's go.
And so we didn't want a long waiting list. And then what happened was I told them, can you guys try and get a ball at least? And so one guy replied me that evening and then said, Coach, my mom said she doesn't have money for a ball. Yeah, that was it. So I took a screenshot of that and then I posted that on my Instagram, and just around some hours after that, I had a DM from the Life League.
Yeah, I know that scams is a thing, you know, but scams are a thing everywhere. It's not just an Africa thing or West Africa thing. They run scams in the United States as well. But you know, at the end of the day, I'm protected. You know, and I've been scammed before, but I'm pretty sure I'll be scammed again. But I know my intentions are good, and I think that's why, you know, God protects me, and you know, that's why I watch people for a while as well, just to see how they move. You know, and with Danny, I sent him some money to get some kids some basketballs first, just to kind of test him to see, you know, what he would do with the money. And you know, he got it back to me within a couple of days. You know, he sent me pictures of the things that he had bought, pictures of the kids playing with the basketballs and things of that nature. And I said, okay, he's a man of his word. So the next time we partnered, it was on a bigger scale for a bigger type of project, which was the refurbishment of the St. Francis School. And so we, you know, got together and got a budget together on what it would take in order to paint the court and replace the backboards and replace the rims and labor and things of that nature. So, of course, this was a little bit more money that I had to send, but he delivered. So everything that he said he was going to do, he did it. So that, of course, increased my trust in Daniel, that if I do send him some resources, he's going to do what he said, you know, he was going to do. We have similar, you know, missions, which is to uplift our communities through sports and mentoring. So he was doing a great job before, you know, I met him. He had partnered already with Brittany Moore from California, and they actually ran a couple of events together, and that's where I actually saw him. I don't know how it came up on my feed, but I saw that he was partnering with Brittany, and so that's when I started watching how he moved and how organized his stuff was. And maybe about a year and a half, 2 years later, that's when I actually reached out to him in reference to partnering with him. So I respect Danny a lot for what he does for this community. And we want to work with him, not just in Ghana, but in other places as well.